our home, our lives. Lord, thank you, Lord, for the air that we breathe. Thank you, Lord, for the birds and the bees. Thank you, dear Lord God, for all that you give us, Lord, that we have an opportunity to enjoy. In Jesus' name we pray. Brothers and sisters, it is Monday, and we're thanking God today. Have you ever just thought about peace that flows like a river? Sometimes, you trying to rest and you just cannot get the rest that you're trying to get. Well, that's because you don't have the promise of God. If you have the promise of God, God has given the believers promises. And one of the gifts of God is Psalms 29:11 tells us the Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. You might not see peace going on in the world. You see a lot of things going on in the world. But, my brothers and sisters, we walk by faith and not by sight. Because if you're walking by sight, you're going to be so discouraged. If you're walking by sight, if you're looking ahead for faith, it's not going to be there. You need to walk by faith. Walk knowing that God has given us great and precious promises. That strength that you need to make it through the day, that rest that you need, that peace that is so essential, you need it, and God can provide it. Because all of the things that are going on in the world, the upheaval, all those types of things, people killing, fighting, wars, and everything that's going on, it's enough just to make you want to stay in bed. But you have to get up. You have to move. You have to go forward. You have to take care of your business, of your family, your children, your home. You have to move forward. And we do it in the strength of God. So if you are a believer, this promise is for you. Psalms 29:11. The Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. So if you're seeking peace today, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Oh, what a mighty God we serve, that loves you, that are calling on you today to seek him. Brothers and sisters, if I could pour anything into you, I would pour that into you, to seek, to knock, to ask. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open unto you. Because God is standing there, waiting and saying, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy burden, and I will give you rest. That's a promise that will always stay with you. That's a promise that will never fail. Seek him today in the midst of all the chaos and all the drama, in the midst of everything that's going wrong, even when things are going right. Seek him, and you'll be surprised what you can do through Christ, which is all things. And remember, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS. Be encouraged.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. Neighbor, 865-457-1380, or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Good morning, everybody. It is Ask Your Neighbor. Today is Monday. It's the third Monday of the month. It's Queener's Corner. David Queener is in here with us this morning. Good morning, Mr. David Queener. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Meredith. How we doing this morning, buddy?
I'm good. I was wondering if you was going to come dragging in here after the fair.
Well, I dragged in here, but after the fair, the best 6 days of summer, everybody wanted to change it to the hottest 6 days of summer. I don't know about the best, but it was hot, man. We had a good week.
Good. That's what you were saying.
We had a good week. I hope everybody enjoyed it and had fun. And
record week?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good week.
That's good.
Right now, anyway, from what I've seen, looks like it's going to be a good week.
No problems or anything?
No problems.
That's good.
No problems.
But that's hard to do when you get that many people in one place 6 days in a row.
You got your typical things, where somebody might get blocked in by accident. We take care of that, or somebody cuts line. You have a couple kids get mad and you have to do that. Or it's funny how kids lose their parents. but they do every night. We'll have some little kid come up and say, "I've lost my mom or dad," and their mom and dad gets lost. They can't stay with little Johnny. But we always find their mom and dads for them and reconnect and get everybody back home. And sometimes it happens twice. Listen,
I just put a leash on mine.
Let me tell you the best thing. There's one thing that goes on at the fair.
Yeah.
Okay? We find wallets. We find cell phones. We find keys. We find debit cards. We find credit cards. We find everything. This year we got something turned into us we've never had turned into us.
Yeah.
Midway turned into us a set of false teeth.
Did you find the owner?
They came and got them on Friday. They put them in a plastic bag, and we had them in a plastic bag. First time in the history of the Airscan Fair.
That must have been one heck of a ride.
They lost it on the ride.
I was going to say, it must have been one heck of a ride.
And the guy put them in a plastic bag, and they brought them to us. And we had some people come in. That lady said, "Thank God we found these. These are so expensive."
Yeah, it has to be to have teeth, man.
Said, "Thank God we found that y'all found them. We appreciate it so much." But like I said, we get everything turned into us.
I can see keys and cards and phones and all that.
First of all, I don't know how you lose your wallet.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say I don't know how you lose your phone, because I've misplaced mine for just a few minutes, but I don't know how you lay your phone down and just walk off and forget it.
Yeah.
That's why they make holders for these things, put on your side to carry. That's why I don't carry mine in my pocket, so that doesn't happen to me. But anyway, that's some stories from the fair this week, just a few stories from the fair. So listen, probably, and we don't know the final figures on this yet. I'll tell you, it's anywhere between 700 and 900 people. Senior Day.
Oh, yeah, it was big.
The biggest senior day maybe in the history of the fair, that's been around for 130-some years, but probably one of the biggest senior days that we've ever had. I know over 700 bottles of water, I believe, was given out, over 600 meals that was prepared by an individual that was giving them away, that was given out. Mm-hmm. So we were told it could be in the upper, closer to the 900 mark. But every chair, every bleacher seat, every place we had, even standing outside the pavilion, people was outside the pavilion at Senior Day. We had a great Senior Day.
Anything different that it can't make?
Nothing.
Just
people came out.
That's great.
I don't know what the reason was. I don't even know. With David WYSH being sick.
Yeah.
I don't know if his group came on and did their thing. I'm sure
that somebody did.
I'm sure David, did that. I'm sure he had that already prearranged if something happens to him or something. But yeah, one of the biggest Bear Stevens Senior Day, one of the biggest senior days that we've had in the history of the fair. So it's just unbelievable.
That's fantastic. It's good news. Take it if you can get it, buddy.
Yeah, well, yeah. Take it while it's good. Take it while it's good. Hey, you got this morning. We got Roger Houck, city manager of City of Clinton, and City of Clinton. Roger,
Wait a minute. Roger, have you ever been up here?
It has been probably 20 years.
I was going to
The last time I
say.
came was when we were doing the Clinch River Classic
Okay.
softball tournament back in the 90s and early 2000s. I think it came up a time or two.
I
We
was
talked
trying to
about
remember.
softball
I said if you'd been once, it had been a long
It's been
time.
a while.
I had to drag him up here to get him up here.
It's 'cause we're busy.
Well,
He is busy. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Roger, how long you been city manager?
I've been city manager 15 years next month.
Wow.
This just started my 39th year with the city in June.
My goodness. I know you were rec director
Yes.
prior. Where did you start with the city?
I actually did an intern. I was at UT and did an internship the summer of '87.
Okay.
Graduated on August 28th, I think it was, and which Bone Severs was city manager. Steve Queener was Parks and Rec director. They actually called me 2 days later on Sunday morning and asked if I wanted to come back to work and offered me a job. So I started on, I think it was August 30th. With the city, and I've been here ever since. Only place I've ever.
Did you start in Parks and Rec?
I started in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Actually, for the first year, Bones actually cross-trained me in several of the departments.
Okay.
So I pulled a stint in Public Works and then Codes Enforcement, City Hall. So I did a little bit of everything the first year, but it's went by quick. It has flown by.
It's amazing. That's great. So, city manager for now 15 years. A little different than Parks and Recreation.
It is a little different. Parks and
Just a little.
Rec, you get to get out in the field quite a bit. You can go to the parks and you're still working. Being city manager, it's pretty much been at City Hall probably 85-90% of the time. Now, with some of the projects that we've got going or had going this summer, I kind of shifted that a little bit, spent some time with some of these projects just so we could get them going, and especially our pool project. It's ran way behind, but thank God we got it open last Friday.
Well, I knew David was coming, and I talked to him, and I thought I just could. I knew you'd been up here. I said I know he's been here. I just couldn't place when. But
Let's kick it off.
I'm not going to hijack your.
No. You asked anything you want. I don't care. I don't care a bit.
I know that. But
Let's start with the pool project. Let's start at the front end of the pool project and everything that happened that really wasn't the city of Clinton's fault. I mean, like COVID and stuff like that. And let's just walk through the pool project and thank God that it is open, because I'm tired of calling up here and saying, couple more weeks. And it seemed like there was just a little something that just kept pushing it a week. Go ahead, Raj.
Well, by far, it's probably been the toughest project that I've dealt with in those 38 years. I mean, just nothing seemed to have gone right with it. As David said from the beginning, it was actually 2020 when we applied for the grant, the Local Parks and Recreation Fund grant. We got the grant sometime in 2022. It was COVID, so everything slowed down on getting it awarded. We actually went under contract, I think it was late summer, August, September of 2023. So once we go under contract, you get a notice to proceed and you can bid the project out. So we bid it out, which takes 4 to 6 weeks. Time you get the bid documents, you have them, everything. Well, come opening day for the bids, we had 0 bidders. Nobody bid on it.
really,
So we're like, okay, well, and when we sit down with the architects and engineers and kind of what we felt happened, you had three parts to the project. You had the old concession and bathrooms that absolutely had nothing ADA in them. You had some site work had to be done. So you had a general contractor who really needed to do that part. Then you had the pool and splash pad, which you usually had different companies do them. So you had the general contractor didn't want to bid on it because they didn't want to be responsible for the pool and splash pad. And of course, your pool and splash pad people didn't want to do the general contractor work. So we rewrote the specs, rebid it out later that year.
did you split it?
We split it in 3 projects.
Okay.
And we got 3 contractors once we did that. So by this time, it was late November into December. Our general contractor and the splash pad people, they started mobilizing, but we could get absolutely nothing out of the company. They were out of, I think, Vaughn or Greenback for the pool. Couldn't get them to do anything. Couldn't even get them to return a call. So we went through about 6 weeks of that, and we fired them.
Okay.
Actually fired them. Sent them a letter and said, we're done. to keep from having to rebid it, we went to the comptroller and asked him, said, hey, since we've already bid this, will you let us go to the next bidder? So we did that, was able to get kicked off on the project later that year. You know, we anticipated it to be done June 1. Of course, I think 21 or 22 days of May, we had rain, so that put us behind. If it could go wrong, it went wrong. The splash pad got poured, I think it was in January, February. We noticed in March that it wasn't looking right. So we made him actually tear it up and pour a new splash pad from the beginning. We weren't going to accept it. Then we had some issues with it's a zero entry pool, which I've noticed the mothers really like it because they can lay right there on the zero entry and watch the kids this past weekend. But the contractor got the slope off just a little bit on the ADA part, so they had to rip that out 2 weeks ago and re-pour it.
So you built 2 pools and 2 splash pads.
You know, they you've got a pool, which this one's a 3,000 square foot, about 70,000 gallons of water. They put a 3-phase motor in it's been about 3 weeks ago now, 4 weeks ago. That's circulating pump motor.
Yeah.
After a week, get a phone call from the contractor and said, Roger, you better sit down, you're going to blow a gasket. I mean, this ain't going to be good. He said, I think lightning hit the motor last night. It's burned it up. So, and this was just 2 weeks ago. So they have to drive to Louisville, Kentucky to get a new motor. Did it over the weekend, got back, put it in. So it's just been all the little things like that we have dealt with. But thank God, Friday we got it open. The average attendance this weekend was 186 over the 3 days. And those were abbreviated days because usually we'll stay open 11 to 7. But we only stayed open 11 to 4 because of the fair. The fair gates opened at 5, so we had to be out of there. So hopefully it'll pick back up the rest of the summer. This week and next week, we're going to be open 11 to 7, Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 6 on Sunday. Once school starts back, usually we shut down because we lose lifeguards. This year, we're going to do it a little different. We're going to stay open. We'll open Friday afternoons at 5, stay open to 8. And then on Saturday, Sunday, we'll be open 11 to 7. Saturday, 12 to 6. So we'll stay open at least till Labor Day on the weekends.
That's great.
And we're charging $0. It's no admission to get in this year. Now, that may change next year. We want to look at everything. Parties, we used to always do parties. Parties would get booked up for the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't do those this year. We're going to try to do those next year. We're back to a full concession. It's been about, I want to say, 2013, 14. That's when attendance started dropping off, so we changed some things, let people, we did vending and let people bring their own food in. That seemed to work, but I like the idea of full concession back.
Sure.
So we've gone back to a full concession. I guarantee you can't get a cheaper meal in Clinton. And we're not there to make money on any of this. If we can break even, we've done good. So you can get a hamburger, a bag of chips, and a drink for $5.
I remember years and years ago, Dan Childs, y'all remember Dan?
Yeah.
He used to have a thing out there every year, and I can't remember what the organization was.
He did it for Dare.
For Dare.
Dare, yes.
We had a swim party
thing
for Dare and gave Rick Scarborough when he was a Dare. We had a big swim party up there and gave stuff away.
Yeah.
Also, you can get a hot dog and a bag of chips and a drink for $4. There's a gentleman that calls in the show regular. Mm-hmm. And he asked, hey, I understand you can go buy a hamburger at the pool now. He can do that. He can walk in, go to the concession stand, get him a hamburger, bag of chips, and a Coke for $5. He can walk in off the streets and do that. There's picnic tables to sit down there. If somebody wants to do that, feel free to walk in. But you can't beat that. You can't beat getting a hamburger and a bag of chips and a drink for $5.
You can't get a drink for $5.
You can't even beat the hot dog thing. I paid more than that at the fair for just a hot dog.
Roger, when like the motor, the 3-phase motor gets hit by lightning, who does that? Was the contractor, city's insurance?
It was still on the contractor. So
do they eat it, or do they have insurance? Or?
I'm sure they had insurance, but it was still on them.
When you guys were dissatisfied with the way that the splash pad come out, that's all good.
That's all on them. They had to eat it and
mess up. They got to take care of it.
This being a grant project, I mean, it was real. I mean, the number of entities that had to come inspect it. I mean, we had not only our building inspector, we had the Anderson County Health Department, and then TDEC sends our own inspectors in because it's a TDEC grant.
Yeah.
And so they actually, we had the last inspection 4 o'clock last Thursday, wanting to open up the next morning. And
I was talking, my mom and dad came down for the weekend, and we were talking about how the pool was open for free and what a great thing that was. And she was talking about when I grew up in Campbell County, we had Cove Lake State Park, La Follette Recreation Center, which I was lifeguard for both of them. We shared back and forth a lot of the times. We had a bowling alley. We had, they have zero. And I said, well, you know what? That, as odd as it sounds, the city provides all of that. We've got a bowling alley.
We'll talk about the bowling alley here in just a second. We've got
a pool.
About the bowling alley.
But all of that, the bowling alley was private owned, but the city had the pool, and then the state had the pool. But all of that's closed now. They don't have state pool, don't have city pool, don't have bowling alley.
So just to see what we went through at the city, what Roger and his staff had to go through in the recreation department, they went through a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't our fault on COVID. It's not our fault on the chain of not being able to get stuff in Clinton, and contractors. It's, this better than anybody. It's hard to get people to work nowadays.
Absolutely.
So we've got it pulled off. From what I'm hearing out here, I've not been there yet. I think we're having a grand opening August 1st.
We are. We're actually going to do a ribbon cut in the chambers. We'll put it on for us. Help us with it. 9 a.m. on the 1st.
Okay.
So it's not this Friday, next Friday.
Very good.
So I'll get to see it then. I could go up and see it today if I wanted to, but I'll be there on the 1st. I'm proud of city staff, and they've been through a lot, because everybody that sits as a city councilman has asked Roger if he's answered one time. He's been asked 1 million times about the pool.
Roger, did we as a city get to do, like, I call it sweat equity, but sometimes they'll let you do in lieu of, I know we match, but did they let us do some of that?
We did at the end of the project, and I really wanted to do it anyway because our public works department and rec department too, but our public works do a super job when it comes to final grade work. So the last couple of weeks, we actually moved in probably a dozen between public works and recreation employees, and we did the final site work. When I say everything went wrong with this, we decided to sod it because we knew we wanted to get it open. We measured. We ordered 30 pallets of sod. We got everything done. We were 6 pallets short. So Dwayne Wilkerson, Public Works Director, said, Roger, I'll just send a truck and trailer to McMinnville and pick up the sod. They left around 10:30. Should have been back around 2:30. Well, they didn't get back till 7:30 that night. 2 different times they had flats on the trailer on the interstate.
Holy cow.
So it was just, and so, it just.
Everything that could did.
Well, everything went wrong on the project, but the pool is open. And from what I understand, it's really nice. And I'm just, I'm proud of city staff and everybody. This was a team effort. This was a team effort.
And all people have to do is look around. Like I said, you can just go, 18 miles up the road. City of La Follette ran into very similar problems when they had leaks and they had all that, and they just determined better to fill it in than to fool with it. And municipalities all over the place have done that because in a lot of places they just don't see the demand for the pool. But I think it's good that y'all took time to do it for the city and for the kids. A lot of people need it.
They did, and City of Greenville just did theirs about 4 years ago.
Okay.
They filled theirs in, just made a splash pad. And, of course, I don't get on social media, Facebook, any of that, but I've got enough friends, especially our mayor, that does. They'll screenshot me stuff. And, a little history why we changed it. Back when I first started in the 80s and 90s, 350 people was probably an average daily attendance.
Yeah.
Well, the last few years we were open, and it's really sad, it dropped down to 60.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't being utilized. So that's why we had a series of meetings with the Rec Advisory Board. We had some citizens come, and when we took some input from them, and we did change some things, we decided to go with more of the water park, smaller pool, larger splash pad, go back to a full concession, hopefully to draw more people in.
Sure.
And so far this weekend, it
up to 186 average. That's good. Better than 60.
So if we get 186, 200 every day, I think it's been successlevel.
It is. Well, congratulations on it. I know it's a long time coming. You 5-year project, 6-year project.
It's been a pain. That's all. I'll leave it at that. I won't leave what else I want to say, but I'll leave it at that. Now let's talk about Roger. And I didn't realize this. And I worked in the city for a long time. But Roger said the project we're doing on Market Street is the biggest project that the city's ever undertaken.
What is it
Which
about
it's a combined project with CUB, first of all, but it's about a $9 million project.
Almost to $10 million.
I was going to say, I heard it might go like almost $11 million when you guys were, Rick and everybody was talking about it.
And we'll have some overruns because we're digging up streets that's not been dug up. We're replacing water and sewer lines. According to Greg Fay's been there since the 20s and 30s.
I told David this, Roger, but I didn't know this. As long as I've been here, I was going to buy one of those buildings on Market Street. In fact, I was going to buy what used to be the old drugstore right there on the corner. This has been 8 years ago. And we were looking around. They were going to show me the heating and air and the boiler or whatever. You go out to the sidewalk and you pull the thing up. It's under the road. Mm-hmm. It's and there are pipes and all kinds of other infrastructure under the road. And
that's what they've already actually they're having we do a monthly construction meeting. It's going on right now at City Hall, but that's some of the things we've already ran into. The new water lines were supposed to go in the sidewalks. That way, if CUB does have a water leak, instead of having to dig up the road, they can just cut a section of concrete and replace it. Well, when they got on the left hand going up, where the water line was supposed to go, we didn't know that's where part of the storm system was. So that held us up for a few days to come up with a plan, either move the storm water, either move the water line over next to the foundation of the buildings, which we didn't want to do, or move the water line to the curb. So that's where we decided to do. So there's going to be some things. I didn't know this till we started the project, that Main Street is asphalt, but there's actually a concrete road. Originally, it was concrete, and it's still there. Oh, wow. Well, when they started digging on Market, we didn't know this. None of us did. It's concrete under Market, too, the original road bed.
Are they going to build on? Do they have to pull all of that out?
Most of it, not all the concrete, but some of it. All the asphalt comes up. We're re-asphalting everything. Of course, that'll be one of the last things of the project. But it's 2 grants we got with it, one on CUB side. They got one through TDEC, through the American Rescue Plan money, and I think it was around $1.82 million that they got. And I think their total side, their project's about 3.8.
Okay.
Our part's about 5.6, and we got a TDOT grant that's 80-20. So the city's only going to have about $1.2 million in the total project. The city, this part, CUB's going to have some on theirs. So it's well worth getting these grants, but they're a pain in the butt. This actually, phase 1 and 2, we got phase 1 in 2019. We were awarded phase 2 in 2020. Mm-hmm. So it's took 5-6 years actually to get the ground broke with all the red tape that you go through. TDEC can be fun working with them because you have a lot of red tape, but TDOT has much more red tape than TDEC.
Is the chamber, do they have any skin in it? Because I know they've got the hometown grants that they can do for, like, I guess it's kind of upgrading some of the buildings, painting some of the buildings, some of that. Are they doing, is that intertwined with what you're doing?
It kind of is. It's through the Main Street program, and them, they've got some of the facade grants.
Okay.
They also got a broadband grant that we're trying to incorporate in this that'll actually have Wi-Fi downtown. Okay. So you can play music and stuff. I know Harriman does that. So we're working some of those things. I think it was a $100,000 grant. So there's several grants involved in this. And we had a phase 3, which right now, phase 1 and 2 goes from Cullum Street all the way up Market, part of Main Street down to Cullum, kind of in front of Sam Franklin's, goes all the way to Broad, turns left at Broad, and goes all the way to the co-op. That's phase 1 and 2. Phase 3 will be from Broad in Main all the way to Clinch in Main. So eventually, sidewalks, walking trails will all be tied together downtown.
You know, you both might remember this, but almost all of that was part of that when back in Wimp's day, back in the mayor's 21st, mayor's 21st convention? Yeah, mayor's 21st century. Those walking trails and some of that other stuff that we're getting to do now. And I think even back then it was $6 or $8 million. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was going to be outrageous to do.
How long is this project? About 18 months, something like that?
No.
500 and some odd work days. Well, I remember that.
A couple extensions because they're under contract. I don't remember I think it's supposed to be over next July.
Next July.
But every time we pull them, if they pull off, that's on them. But we had them pull off like 3 days, I think, when we did the Antique Festival. So that adds 3 days to the end.
Yeah.
So it should be, if nothing goes, we should by the middle of next summer we should be we should have things put back. And that's a big part of it, especially on Market.
Is Market going to be walking or driving? Or
it'll still be driving,
okay.
But the lanes will be narrow. They'll be 11-foot lanes, but the sidewalks will be quite a bit wider.
Are we taking the parking off the sidewalks?
Part of it. We're losing about half of it.
Okay.
We're keeping some of it there. We're going to add some on Cullum Street. We're going to add some on Freddie Fagan.
Okay.
Freddie Fagan will become a one-way road from the Apple Blossom down, just because it's real narrow. And you make your sidewalks wider, your road's got to be smaller.
Sure.
So some of those things, a lot of streetscapes going in. We're looking at a town clock to put on the alleyway. Cool. So it'll have some neat features once we get it put back. The merchants, I've had numerous town hall meetings with them, and I don't think they really believed me when I told them it was like a bomb went off downtown. It looks like a bomb went off, and some of them are struggling with grasping that. But we're working with them. We've encouraged them from day one. Use your back doors. Put some signage up. Use your back doors. I went down on Market Street. Right now, for the next 3 weeks, I think it is, we've got Market Street closed from Monday morning to Friday afternoon.
I saw the sign, Market Street's open. We've got some signage out there encouraging people.
But they opened it back up, and I went down on Market Street Saturday, and it was full. It was a good crowd.
That's good.
Part of the sidewalks out in sections of it where they've already dug some of the sidewalk out.
Yeah.
A couple of sidewalks coming up and going to be redone. It's really going to be nice downtown when this project's all said and done. It's just we ask people to be patient. Yes, the roads are tore up. They will be fixed. Well, it'll be very nice when I think give everybody a chance here to get it done and see what the final project is, and then see all the businesses that we're hearing that possibly will come down there along with our antique people down there. I think it's what people in Clinton's been calling for quite some time.
And we've already seen some new business. We had hammocks open up.
Yeah.
We got the Happy Hostess, I think it is, a little restaurant, bakery.
Yeah.
We got the ice cream shop. We got the brewery that's been planned to open. I think they're hoping to open sometime next summer also. It'll be a brewery restaurant.
Sure.
So I think with some of those things mixed in with some of the antiques, I know I talked to one merchant back in the Antique Festival in May, and she told me her business was up 90% this year over last year. Now, that was in May. That's before we started tearing everything up.
Sure, but still.
But she said she was very pleased.
Well, I think, too, now that you've got some places to sit down, if you want to go shop, spend a few hours on Market Street, if you got hungry, you had to leave Market Street, to do that. And now people be able to go and sit down. Yeah, sit down.
Yeah, it's starting to come together a little bit down. I think after this project's done and people see it I think it's going to be really nice downtown. I think it's going to be a really nice project, but it's a super big project, and it is super tore up right now.
Yeah.
That's a polite way of saying it, but it's all going to get put back together, and just be patient. If you've lived in Clinton for any time, go around it. If you don't have to go down there to do business, go around it.
I've not heard that much grousing. Have you heard that?
There's a few people's complaining because our roads are tore up downtown. Well, they're tore up for a reason. Just go down there and look, and you'll see there's construction going on.
Yeah, I used to talk to, oh my goodness, George. He worked for the city for a long time, but he used to call about our infrastructure. Who am I talking about? What's his last name? George.
George.
I won't say Riggs, but I'm not talking about
George Riggs.
George Riggs. Thank you. And George was talking. He said, he said, Ron, I can show you. We got water lines, and we got over 100 years old. So if folks are fussing, we're replacing stuff that's centuries old. A long time. That we're getting in there. They're going to have to replace it sometime. So.
Hang in there with us. Lights at 10 of the total. Now, you mentioned a while ago there, you said something about a bowling alley.
I did.
And do you know how many cities still have bowling alleys?
Not many. I think Sevierville does. But I'm not sure, besides Sevierville, I'm not sure if anybody, at least in East Tennessee. I could be wrong, but
I didn't know of anybody.
Not many.
So we have a bowling alley, and we have some bowling leagues. People come and actually bowl in the bowling leagues, and we're remodeling for the first time
since 1978. It's really the equipment and everything that's in there was put in 78.
And it was used when we bought it, wasn't it? The equipment wasn't the equipment used, or
I don't know nothing about that.
Somebody told me that we bought it.
So we started I guess 2 weeks ago they started, or maybe even last week they started. We're pretty much replacing everything in the bowling alley except the bowling lanes, and they're in pretty good shape. We're gonna have them refinished, so we'll work down on. But the machines, the returns, the furniture, and actually we've had everything for the last couple of years been coming in over bid, high. But we've had 2 projects this spring that we bid out. The bowling alley being one, we had estimated about $450, and it came in at $290. So we were pleased with that. And then another one I know David will talk about, a traffic signal that we're going to put in. It came in under budget.
And that's at the Mariner Point Trail.
Yes.
We'll talk about that here just a minute.
I was going to.
I'm just proud that we're doing the bowling alley and getting it done and getting it up to date, because those people that bowl in those leagues came to city council a few years ago and said, hey, if y'all would remodel this place down here and get us up, we can have more activities there, and that's what we want to offer our set. And there are a lot of seniors that do the bowling thing and like to go bowling, and I even like to bowl myself. But so I'm proud that we're able to do that, and I think there's some work down the road that maybe Roger's got on the horizon there to redo some things at the community center. It needs some love, and we'll try to get it some love and maybe do some things to the community center in the near future. But that's just one project. There's not many cities. First of all, there's not many cities that still have a swimming pool.
True.
There's not many cities that have a bowling alley.
True.
Period. They've never had one, and we do.
And I got the numbers mixed up. It's $370 on the bowling alley.
Okay.
So still under budget, but the traffic signal we'll talk about, it came in under budget too.
Is the Market Street project you're talking about going to mid-July or early August or what have you? Does that include what's going to happen coming down Main Street?
Yes.
Okay.
The
That's
total,
all.
Total project should be July 2026.
And they're already tearing it up down through there. They've already come up Broad Street to the corner there of Broad and Main.
Yep.
They've already got the sidewalk out all the way up, and they're working. I'm sure there'll be another crew. The crews increased, last week or a week before?
Yeah, last week I went through and they'd had 1 or 2 crews. I went through middle of last week, and they had 3 different crews in 3 different locations. Which, after dealing with the pool project, love seeing that with this project because we're getting it. And the contract originally called for us not to shut Market Street down, to try to leave it open. Well, I think the merchants actually came to me and said, Roger, would it make it go quicker if we let them shut it down during the week and open it back up on weekends? So the contractor was tickled with that. So they've been honest. That's why we're closing it early Friday, having it open by 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. It still allows the merchants to have a good weekend.
Let me ask you this, especially with the merchants and the street being closed, back when they were redoing the Daugherty building, some of the folks that were that had questions about that were worried about parking back there in the city garage and then it hampering or hindering the rest of the merchants downtown. I've not seen that. I've drove by. I kind of pay attention to it when I drive by just to see. For one, I think they did a great job on the building and the elevator. It meshed in perfect with that building. Have you had any of that? Seen any of that or anything?
It's funny you ask. This weekend we did have our first issue. I was actually leaving Food City, got a text message, a picture. Of course, those parking lots were built back when the Daugherty buildings were apartments.
Yeah.
So that's where people used them. I try not to mess with zoning, but the zoning of that building does not require that it has dedicated parking.
Gotcha.
Of course, they've always had public parking. So we told them from day one, yes, you have the right for your tenants to park their cars, trucks back there, but they can't store stuff. They can't bring in boats, trailers. Well, this weekend I get a text message. Sure enough, one of the tenants had parked a boat there. So I was leaving Food City, so I just drove up there and as looking around, I noticed there was a double axle box trailer there too that was on the lower end. So I knew it wasn't part of the construction. So I called Captain Bailey with the police department. He set a patrol up there and they tagged them. I emailed the owner. He put me in touch with the management company, and actually me and Chief Campbell will meet with them Friday to make sure we get a line of communication for if we have these issues.
Sure.
So the boat was gone this morning. The trailer was still there. So probably if it ain't gone by in the morning, we'll probably help it get gone.
Well, that's good. That's a few problems so far.
Yeah, but besides that, no, there's not been any issues.
That's good. And
plus, we added another parking lot. We didn't add it just for downtown. We added it to help the schools out too and to help us out. So there is some extra parking
It helps get traffic off the road.
It helps. We've got a parking lot up there that we build on and just as completing. It's a really nice parking lot that helps us out with. We have events downtown, overflow parking, stuff like that. So we have an extra parking lot. Now I will talk about pickleball courts in a minute because I really am. I've been a pretty big opponent on the pickleball courts, but the thing that there's a couple things that I'm proud of that's taken place with the city since I've been on city council. And this next one, I know we've tried forever and ever and ever to get a traffic signal at Mariners Point.
Yeah.
So this is how this went down.
All right.
I get a call from a lady out of Mariners Point and said, David, do you think you could help us get a traffic signal at Mariners Point? And I said, ma'am, probably not, but I'll ask Mr. Houck to check on it.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been told no. So I called Roger, and Roger said, David, there's some things there's a guy that might be able to help us a little bit more now. He's not employed there now or something. I don't remember the whole story. And us having the senior center down there, maybe it might just warrant that, having a traffic signal in Mariners Point. And then we had a pretty big accident down there that it threw cars in the Shell parking lot. And they were everywhere. So we decided, hey, let's go for this. And Roger went after it. And as usual, this time we got that traffic signal that's going to be put in, and it's out to be. Is it already? We've already bid it.
We approved it last month, and once again, it came in. We were looking at over $400,000. It's the one that came in at $299, which is cheap, which still blows my mind that a traffic signal
costs $299,000.
$299,000. Of course, same issues when we did the one at the Walmart and the one at Doe Run Boulevard. It took a supply chain issue. These cabinets that have the controllers. It took us over a year and a half once we bid it and approved it to actually get it installed. We're looking at they told us probably worst case about 8 months on this one. Mm-hmm. Everything's been signed, ordered, but it's just get that equipment in. You'll probably see some preliminary work. We'll go ahead and get everything done. So as soon as that cabinet comes in, they'll be ready to hook it up. But you'll see it's going to be like we did up the interstate. We'll have the mast arms, the big steel arms. Yeah. I think those just look better. Of course, they last a little longer.
Yeah.
So it'll go in and it'll have a controller on it. People up Doe Run sometimes don't understand why only 3 or 4 cars get out. Well, if there's only 5 cars on Doe Run, but the boulevard's backed up in both directions, all of our traffic signals, just about all of them, have radar on them that actually it can control the number of cars it lets in and out. So for the most part down there, it'll let traffic flow.
The heavier traffic.
West, yes, until somebody pulls up on Mariner Point Drive, somebody pulls up to the traffic signal, then eventually it'll give them the green light. So it's kind of an automated system.
That's going to be helpful, especially like when I'm coming out of the subdivision to turn left, like if I was going to go toward Oak Ridge. Definitely, it'll help a lot with that.
Well, I was just blown away that we were able to get it. We got it, and we didn't mess around. It was city council. We voted to authorize Roger to go ahead and let's do it, whatever the cost. Let's do it. We've approved it, and we're moving on, and we'll have a traffic signal down there. So, golly, how long do people ask for a traffic signal?
20 years.
20 years. I know.
It took 20 years to get it, but we got it.
Yeah, at least 4, 5, 6 times that we've asked TDOT to do the study, and they denied us. And we started using. Well, we've always used Canon, but with all the projects got on, we're using them more, and that's what they had. One of their traffic engineers was a retired traffic engineer with TDOT.
Okay, so that helps.
So he helped on both traffic signal problems and for us to meet the warrants that we needed.
I was a few years ago. I was in your office. We were talking about the stuff across the river that I had done, and me and you were showing me a map, and we were talking about infrastructure up by the interstate, mm-hmm. and you said you trying to get ahead of that, working with the state because anticipating at that time they were talking about building some of these houses. Now they're actually mm-hmm. building them. 178 or 200, however many's coming. But how are we coming with that, and what's going on up there?
We of course we built, or the contractor behind Buddy's Barbecue built a secondary road for part of it.
Okay.
So we did that. We would like to at some point extend that secondary road. There's probably, I think, 3 property owners we'd have to get with, and I don't even know the name of the road. It's the one behind Buddy's Barbecue.
I know which one
pizza place. We could extend it all the way over to Buffalo, which would help quite a bit. We've asked TDOT to keep us on their radar to help with some infrastructure up there. It's a state road, so we're kind of limited what we can do there. Of course, I think the two new traffic signals have helped some there. But you're right, it's that's where we're growing. We're working with the county right now. County mayor got a federal appropriation for a EOC to go in the county. We own property up there that the go back to the 2006 master settlement that says we've got to put a fire station up there. It didn't give a timetable, so we've always said we're not going to do it until we need it. Yeah. Well, as you said, as these houses, we've had a developer interested in some apartments up there. So eventually, and it's going to be sooner than later, we're going to have that firehouse. So we've kind of partnered with Mayor Frank on this EOC to be an EOC. One side of it be the EOC, one side of it be our City of Clinton Fire Station.
EOC being what? Emergency
Operations.
That'd be Bryce Kittles.
Okay, that's what we were talking about. That building.
We were talking about that. Yep. Yes.
Gotcha.
So that's a partnership we're doing. We own the land. We have the land there.
Gotcha.
So a lot of what we'll donate, we'll have to put some money in it, but most of it will be the federal appropriation. And I think county commissions maybe already appropriated some funds for it.
So think about everything we've said.
I was just getting ready to say you're juggling a lot.
So think about everything we've said here, okay? A lot of money and a lot of things.
Yeah.
Your tax rate's still the same. We've not raised your taxes not one nickel to do any of that stuff. So
now, I'm not saying a word about garbage cans.
Well, we're going to talk about it.
I think that's
we're going to talk about garbage. I asked Roger if we could talk about it. Talk about the garbage. What you really had to do in the end, just because the system hadn't been redone, because we hadn't redone the system since 90. Talk about that and what we had to do to solve that problem a little bit.
Of course, you said, Ron, we were getting several complaints.
I'm tired of hearing about that.
I called a couple times.
I guess after the last round of complaints that we really had, and it's been about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And WYSH, they've got all new management. Doug McGill, that had been with them, 50 years, 60 years, retired, and bless his heart, died a year later.
Oh, wow.
And Doug was in his late 70s. He had worked that long. So with some new management, they were struggling with some stuff. And we went to the new garbage can pickup, and a lot of that started with COVID because they just couldn't get workers. This is all automated. They claim, I think they can get 1,000 cans a day with the automated system. We had looked at that several years ago because Knox County went to it, but they were going to charge us almost $500,000 for the cans. That was when we wanted to do it. Now, when they come to us, they said, we'll buy your cans. Yeah. I think it makes the streets look neater and everything to have that one can out there. But we met with them back in May, and pretty much some guys, this ain't working. We're getting complaint after complaint. I'm tired of getting complaints. They looked at their system. Their route schedule hadn't been changed in almost 30 years. So as you said, our town's grown and it's kind of shifted. I mean, I don't remember the exact days. I think Mondays, is that Mariner Point?
No, Wednesday's Mariner
Point. Wednesday was kind of light. Tuesday was real heavy. Thursday was heavy. So what they did was equaled everything out. Now I think on Wednesdays, because that's I live on Riverside, they get everything on that side of the boulevard, Mariner Point, Greenwood, Riverside, all of that up to the bridge. That's their Wednesday. So they tried to balance their map out on their route days. And to be honest, I think I've had one complaint, knock on wood,
one
careful. Complaint in the last 4 weeks that since they've changed the route. So we're hoping that works better.
Yeah.
I told them we got to try something.
Well,
I've not had any complaints, and I was getting them on a daily basis. So I'm glad it's worked for me anyway.
Well, that's good.
That's good. It's a good thing. So my last subject. Well, there's plenty to talk about, but these are just some of the top ones that we've done. We put a few pickleball courts in. About a year ago, maybe something like that.
Year and a half ago.
And man, it just blowed up. So we're going to expand the pickleball courts. That'll take place. Is that going to take
August?
It's going to take place in August. Everything down there will become one big pickleball court. Well, pickleball court, that's all it's going to be is pickleball courts down there. And I'm proud of the Recreation Department for listening to the citizens. And all you got to do is go by there. And there's a need to expand it, but you want to expand on it a little bit and just talk about it a little bit?
Like I said, we did the one court. I guess we had 3 tennis courts. We did the one court, and I think I'm hoping I get this right. One tennis court makes 4 pickleball.
Okay.
So we got 4 down there now. But as David said, due to the need, I went to the fair last Wednesday or Thursday night, came through about 9:30, and I bet there was 10 cars there, people playing pickleball at 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
So we're going to take the other 2 tennis courts and convert them into 8 more pickleball.
Okay.
So we'll have 12, and I know we've already had a couple of tournaments down there that brought in some big crowds, which we still got the 7 tennis courts at JC Park, so they'll remain there. But it's seen a lot of use in them. Back in the spring, we had girls softball going, playing on both fields, and that going, and we had the splash pad open. The park was busy, which is what you want it to be.
Yeah, it is.
How many kids we had participate in girls softball and baseball this year?
No, it's up there. Girls softball was up. I mean, I think baseball was up to the 350s numbers, and I think girls softball was up to around 270, 280. So the numbers picked up.
Wow.
Baseball started a fall league probably 6-7 years ago. Actually, I had a lady call me at City Hall back in June. And we've encouraged them. They just hadn't been able to do it. But she had talked to the president of the girls softball, and she wanted to do a fall girls softball league. So I hope she gets that organized. And which TWSAA looked at going to girls softball in the fall anyway. I wish they had it. The weather's better.
Yeah, better than sitting out in the heat.
So Roger's got a lot on his plate. Has a lot on his plate, and I'm gonna toot his whistle just a little bit here. We've over the last 3 years, he's been real aggressive on a pay plan for all city employees. He's done that. That's all got taken care of. I'm proud of that. We still pay all of our insurance for all of our city employees. We take care of them there. So there's some other things that they get down the line too. So I'm just proud overall. We got a pretty good fund balance. We're paying for these projects. We're not raising your taxes. So we're doing some things, and I know we're going to have to address some of the parks that's going to need some things done, but that's down the road just a little bit, and we'll get to them. We got a great school system that Roger works great with our school director, and our school director works great with Roger. It didn't take place a few years ago. There was a little rift, but that's all since been water under the bridge, and they work hand in hand. I mean, so anything the school needs, we get people over there to try to help them, and anything we need from the schools, they get people to help us. So I'm proud of that too. Just by being on the school board and then just transfer into city council, I'm proud of the way we all get along with each other and how professional it is and how we work together. We've got school resource officers in every school.
That's
every
great.
School, not just one, every school.
That's
so
great.
we get some money for that, and I'm proud of that. And Roger's made that a top priority, so we'll have it in there. And I know Kelly Johnson likes having those officers too. So there's just a lot of really good things going on in Clinton, and that's just we've touched on some of it.
I'll tell you this:
if you look, that's a little bit for everyone.
Yeah, everything we mentioned is open for anybody to use.
That's right. So it's that's a little bit for everyone. And we're trying to make Clinton better, and Roger's doing a really good job of that. And there's other things that, as the new projects come, maybe I'll get him back up here on this hot corner with me, and we'll see if we can't grill him a little bit more. But he's doing a good job. And the pool was a challenge, and I know it was a challenge because it's been a challenge for all the city council.
Sure.
We've been bombarded with questions about the pool.
I understand. I know I have
So
too.
for 60 people to only use the pool, there was a lot more interest than 60 people.
Sure.
I'll say that. I mean, it was huge.
I'll tell you something else too. At both the city council and at Roger, I think y'all did a really good job with hiring Chief Campbell. I know we had other folks, Bailey and some others, that were highly qualified and could do it, and so there wasn't a bad choice.
And you're right. Jim was doing a super job. We actually took the opportunity. I did this in the fire department a few years ago when Chief Brummett retired and Chief
Jeff. Yeah.
So we kind of did it with the police department, and after we had MTAS come in and do the interview. They actually brought chiefs in from 2 other cities. I wasn't involved. They make their recommendation to me.
Yeah.
3 fine candidates, but we took the opportunity. It wasn't because these 3 had applied. It was because the job they do. We were able to promote Jim to chief, But then Jim had been assistant chief. God, 20 years we've had an assistant chief.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
not that
a
long.
little bit longer.
We went back to the old days. Instead of having an assistant, we promoted Carl Bailey to captain.
Yeah.
And he's over patrol in the CID division. And then we promoted Brandon Floyd to captain, and he is over the records, dispatch, training, certification or accreditation. So we kind of split those duties up, and so far it's been seems to be working really well. I know David and I've talked.
Jim's a good guy. Jim Campbell's a really good guy, and he's going to really do a good job. He just got to learn the job.
Yeah.
And he's doing a fine job. I was very pleased with I'd have been pleased with any of them, but I was pleased with Jim because he's really a super.
Well,
really
no news is always good news, and when we don't hear news,
Yes.
people, you know what I mean. So I just I think it's good, and I've seen morale come back. Start to grow down there, and I've talked to a number of the officers, and they're happy. And if they're happy,
Yes.
that makes for a happy department.
Roger, you got anything else you want to talk
One other
about?
thing, and I don't even think I've told council, we got a letter.
And we're gonna learn
Here we
something
go.
new, David.
We'll better lean back.
Well, everybody, this being an appraisal year, everybody's been up in arms. I ran into Johnny Alley just the other day, and
Here we go, Ron.
I know.
Tie yourself in that
I
seat
know.
over there.
but we did get a new certified tax rate. I think it came in Wednesday or Thursday last week.
Okay.
Right now right now, because we got to take it before council, right now it's 0.867.
Yeah.
Our new tax rate is going to be 0.526.
Gotcha.
So it's going down about 34 cents. Now what that means is depending on how much your house got reappraised for. I did a couple of scenarios. My house went up about $150,000. Actually, with the new tax rate, I'm going to pay a little less. I'm going to pay like $15 less in taxes.
There you go.
I did the mayor's. His almost doubled.
Yeah.
He's going to pay more. So it really depends where you hit on that appraisal. I meant to get the number of what percentage that would break, that you'd either pay the same, less, or more. But the key thing is the city of Clinton cannot make any more money off our property tax with an appraisal year.
Sure.
So next Monday, we'll have a resolution to set our next tax or next certified rate, which will be 52 cents, 52.6. You can't. They won't even let you average it up.
You got to be
So
right
you
on
gotta
it.
be right where they put it. So we'll put that. Some cities don't do it that way. Some cities may say, well, we'll leave ours at 86 cents.
Yeah.
That's a sneaky way of doing a tax increase.
I remember in times past when we were when it was reappraised and we were $1 and it dropped to 86. And there was a lot of conversation about, well, if we just left it at $1, we're not really raising it. But luckily we didn't do that, so
No.
that's good.
And the only other thing, and this is something that Council Planning Commission has been working on. I won't get into the details because I don't know the details. We passed an ordinance last month, and we got the second reading this month. It's called our Gateway Overlay, and it is our two corridors coming into town, 25W and 61. That is kind of like our historic downtown overlay, a little different zoning. So once this goes into effect, there are several key factors that could kick it in. That the zoning ordinance would be a little more strenuous, and your hopes is to your entrances into your town,
Yeah.
kind of spruce them up a little bit. They'll have little higher standards of new construction. If it's a renovation over 50%, like I said, I don't want to get into details because I'll get them wrong. That will kick in some better.
Just make your front door look nicer.
Yes, it will.
That's
It'd be things like your heat and air unit can't be in the front of the building. It'll have to be in the back.
that's good.
Be certain building materials that you'll be allowed to use. And I know some people want this done quicker than sooner, but a lot of people's got property rights too, and
Sure.
you can't violate them. So
It's kind of a fine line to walk on.
yeah,
isn't
it is. So as new people buy the buildings or the people that own them need to renovate them, this new set of codes will kick in on them, and they'll have to bring them up to a little better standard.
That's great. I mean, just looking at it from the outside looking in, it all seems like good news.
It is, man. It's all good. It's all good news.
And that's,
You got anything else for Roger?
I don't think I do. I just
Roger, I appreciate you being on the corner with me, and man, you're free to go because you don't want to hang around for this next part. I told you it would be simple and sweet, and
You've kept your word.
I've kept my word, and we've tried. I wanted to touch on some of these projects and let it come out of Roger's mouth, what's going on. And just on Market Street, all I ask is people have patience and give us time to get it done. And then at the end, we can be judged at the end of the project how it looks and what's going on down there.
Well, and Roger, if there's anything, I hope we've always done this, but if there's anything that we can ever do to help you help the city, it's, I've really enjoyed over the 36 years almost that I've been here seeing it. I can remember going down to Market Street, and those buildings were in disarray to a degree. I remember one time somebody was like, won't you move the station down to Market Street? I'm like, that's a good idea. And I went down there and went, yeah, me, Hammers, and the comic book shop. I'll pass. There was just nothing. And there wasn't a lot of attention a long time ago.
Well, I remember back in my youth days that we had places to eat down there. We had Twins Cafe. We had Miller's Restaurant was down there. We had Lou Allen Miller's that was down there. We had a Western Auto down there. We had Hammers down there.
Yep.
Maybe the Toggery was down there. Cato's was down there. We had a lot of things down on Market Street, a lot of different things you could go shopping. So, that's all changed a little bit now. But, man, I appreciate you coming up.
Problem. Guys, thank you all.
Anytime, pal.
And, almost, two things. Other people, I want to thank the mayor and council.
Yes.
They do a great job supporting us. As David said, they supported a pay plan that we put in place 3 years ago. This was the third year that we increased every city employee's salary by 20% over a 3-year period.
Well, that's good.
And as David said, we did that without raising taxes.
Yeah.
Also, I want to thank the employees because I think we got a great group of guys and ladies that work for the city of Clinton. They support me. I support them. They're one of our biggest assets. We get a lot of stuff done in-house, especially with public works. It saves money, but police and fire do a good job. Recreation, they got a lot going on right now. But guys, once again, have me back up sometime.
And I'll say thank you, too,
we'll
because
take you up on that.
Anytime it snows, you guys are right up here, Johnny on the spot. Get me up this hill. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys.
We'll let you go, Roger.
Roger, thanks for being on the corner with me.
Let me take a break, David. Let Roger go, and we'll come back. Me and David will howdy and shake a little bit. On WYSH Trading Time, because people all over East Tennessee are listening and just might come in and do business with you. Good morning, WYSH Radio Trading Time. Hi, you're on the air. Where are you calling us from this morning?
Knoxville.
Hey.
Yeah, good morning to you, Ron, and I'm calling from Powell.
Thank you. Where are you calling me from this morning?
Clinton.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling me from this morning, brother?
I'm down here in Oliver Springs. I've been right here on this corner since 1972.
My friend, where are you calling me from today?
Clinton.
Okay, that'll do it. Where are you calling from today? I know where you're at. You're here in Clinton.
That's right.
Go right ahead. And where are you calling me from?
I'm in between Oliver Springs and Harriman.
Well, I'm up here in the Andersonville area.
Yes, ma'am. Where are you calling us from today?
Rockwood.
Go right ahead.
Nowhere on from Roane County down here. How you doing?
Good morning. You're on the air.
It's Big Ron from Metropolis in Harriman, Tennessee. Now I'm up here. We're sitting by the fireplace.
Where are you calling us from this morning?
Oliver Springs.
Where are you at today, David? Where are you calling from?
Over on Raccoon Valley.
Raccoon Valley. AM 1380 WYSH WYSH. Where are you calling me from today, sir?
Jacksboro.
Jacksboro. Fantastic. Where are you calling me from this morning?
Oliver Springs.
Where are you at this morning?
I'm in Dutch Valley community.
They can call me here in La Follette.
Good morning, sir. Where are you calling us from today?
Call from Rockwood.
Good deal.
And I'm calling from South Clinton.
Where are you calling me from today?
This is Nick in Oak Ridge.
Nick in Oak Ridge. Good morning, Nick. Thank you. Where are you calling from this morning?
Knoxville.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
I'm calling from Bryceville, Tennessee today.
Calling from Bryce. Yes, sir. Where are you calling me from?
Harriman.
Harriman. Thank you. Pat, you're calling me from West Wolf Valley.
West Wolf Valley, yes, sir.
There you go.
Right here below the radio station on Spring Street.
Where are you calling us from this morning, sir?
Campbell County.
Yes, it is. Hi. Good morning. Where are you calling me from today?
I'm calling down here from South Harriman.
That's exactly right. Where are you calling me from today, pal?
La Follette.
La Follette. Thank you. Go ahead. Fantastic. Campbell County's in the house today. Where are you calling me from today?
South Clinton.
Thank you, sir. Where are you calling me from today?
Here in Clinton, huh?
Thank you, sir. Do you currently or would you like to draw business from any of these areas? Clinton, Oliver Springs, Jacksboro, Oak Ridge, Rockwood, La Follette, Andersonville, Harriman, Caryville, Dutch Valley, Roane County, Campbell County, Knoxville, South Clinton, Bryceville, West Wolf Valley, Raccoon Valley, Spring Street,
South Harriman, Emery Gap, Powell, and many others? This is just one day of trading time. We do it 6 days a week, twice a day. A world of business is waiting to hear about your business on Trading Time. So why not advertise your business right here on WYSH Trading Time? Heard on AM 1380. FM 99.5, FM 101.1, online at WYSHradio.com, at BBBTV12.com. On your Alexa, simply say, play WYSH Radio Clinton on the TuneIn Radio app. Watch Trading Time on Comcast Xfinity Channel 1081 or 1086. On Facebook, search WYSH AM 1380 or BBB TV 12. On YouTube, Twitter, now X. Just search BBB TV 12. And you can watch on your Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV streaming device by downloading Boxcast and then searching BBB Communications. So why not advertise your business to everyone listening to Trading Time right here on WYSH?
This is Michael Webb with Grayson Hyundai Subaru and Genesis of West Knoxville. We know you have many options when it comes to buying your next vehicle, but if keeping your money in the community is important to you, then Grayson is the dealer for you. We're not owned by a giant dealer group traded on Wall Street. Our dealership is family-owned and has been serving the Knoxville community for nearly 40 years. We value family, and we offer vehicles for every budget that a family requires. Our line of new Hyundais, Subarus, and our luxury Genesis vehicles, plus over 400 quality used cars, we have something for everyone. Our town's growing, and we're excited to grow with it. So the next time your family needs a new or quality used vehicle, we invite you to come on down and support your local dealer, Grayson Hyundai Subaru and Genesis of West Knoxville. We're on Kingston Pike between Cedar Bluff and Walker Springs, or you can visit us online at GraysonAuto.com. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, guys, we're back here. It's Monday morning, and as you know, first of all, Dave, thank you for getting Roger to come up. Clinch River Classic, that's the last
It's been a long time ago with the softball stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, I've talked about this with a couple folks. Man, that was a monster tournament, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was,
you know, when the Classic started, when my brother and Roger started the Classic, it went from sort of small, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then towards the end, softball sort of fizzled out.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be, there was a city league here that was really competitive.
Yeah.
Played in it, so I know that. There was a church league that was really competitive. I know that because I played in it. And I played on a team that just about won it every year, Second Baptist Church. So, you know, softball was really big. You know, and Maryville used to have one of the biggest softball tournaments around here in the country. These teams come from everywhere. They're paid to play softball.
Yep.
They fly in here. They don't drive in here. They fly in here. They fly them in here to play. And I don't know if Maryville still has their softball thing that they have every year. I hadn't heard in the last 2 or 3 years if they still have it. But I've heard some rumblings that softball might be making a comeback a little bit. So we'll see what happens down the road, whether we can have a softball league back here in the city. And I'm sure if we do, JB being a big softball guy, I know that because I've played against him competitively. I'm sure if we can have a softball league that he'll try to organize one up, and maybe we'll get softball put back on the map just a little bit and have a league, whether it's a co-ed league or whether it's just a men's league or whether it's a men and women.
Sure.
Each one of them have one. So JB's good about that, you know, on the softball stuff. And like I said, man, I'm proud of some of the stuff we've done because we've not raised taxes.
No,
we've not had to go explain to the citizens, hey, we got to raise your taxes $1 or a quarter or 50 cents. We've not done that. Our city staff has managed the money. Us as a city council have managed the money, and we've done a pretty good job at managing money. Now, it's easy for me to say I'm on city council, and people say, well, you're just tooting your own horn. No, I'm not really tooting my own horn. They were already doing this before I got there.
I was going to say, you went in, you took over.
I've tried to do everything that I promised people that I would do.
Sure.
And I said I was going to be a city councilman for the employees, and I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that. When Roger came to me this play plan, I said, I'm all on board. Well, let's get some things readjusted first on police and fire. We got salaries that's all out of whack.
Yeah.
Let's try to keep some of these people. And he done that.
Yeah.
And then he came to me and said, we're going to do this pay plan. I said, for everybody or just police and fire? He said, everybody. I said, I'm all in 100%. We did it for everybody. We did it for the janitor. We did it for the recreation department employee, police, fire, public works. We did it for everyone that works for us full time. Got the benefit of that pay increase over the last 3 years.
You know, that makes for happy employees, and happy employees make for good, especially when you're working for the city. You're a servant. You know what I mean? You're a servant.
You know this better than anybody because me and you've talked about it. How much insurance costs.
Oh, gosh.
And we're paying every nickel for our employee plus the family. How many places do that? How many places? None.
I don't know anybody.
Probably none.
No.
You know, so that's always been the case at the city of Clinton since I worked there all the way through. There was a period of time, maybe for about a year, that we had to pay a little bit, and then we got right back to where we were at. The higher ups saying that this ain't working.
Yeah.
Having to pay, I think it wasn't much, $50, but $50 is $50.
Sure.
You know, so I'm just proud of the relationship that. First of all, let me say this. And I had something to do with getting Kelly Johnson hired. I was on the committee that got her hired. I'm so proud of Kelly Johnson and Clinton City Schools.
Yeah.
I really am. And I'm proud of how she works with Roger and how Roger works with her. And they get along so well. And, you know, if she has a problem, she just calls Roger.
Sure.
And if Roger has a problem, he just calls her. So in the past, there was no relationship like that.
Yeah. It was a little adversarial.
Yeah, you couldn't make that phone call. People don't really understand that, but when I went over there, it was pretty tense.
Yeah.
You know, and when I started coming back and say, hey, the city's willing to do this for SRO, city's willing to do this. No. You realize what this is going to cost us and we can't afford it? City's willing to do this, city's willing to do that, let's do it. And we finally broke the ice and got it done. So, you know, I'm proud of Kelly Johnson and the city schools. I think we got I know it's only K through 6. I really don't care what it is, but we got one of the best K through 6 systems in the state of Tennessee.
You know, I was one of those guys that were ready to go K through 8 at least, or K through 12.
I was too, and it was going. You know, and listen, I think Kelly Johnson was too, but the final thing, it was going to cost so much. And just to build the school is going to be
that and room. We need room that we needed. I know there was a lot, you know.
I think we found the place to build the school.
Yeah.
We could have built the school. It would be, you know, people just got all upset that, you know, we were going to add 2 more grades. Well, people don't really realize Clinton City schools used to go up like that a long time ago. I think we went to the 8th grade. So it's not like it wouldn't be something we've not done before.
Sure.
So, But building that 7th and 8th grade, you know, school system, and we had parents out the yang that was calling us, wanting us to do it, but $25 million was just an impossible figure. It was just going to be a burden on the school system and a burden on the city, and it just wasn't feasible. And good management stepped up and said, "We'll just stop it right here."
Yeah, I'm not saying anything negative about the county school systems. All 3 of my trade went all the way through it, and my 2 twins are in it right now. But the city school system, it's completely different animal than when you move into the county school system.
Well,
maybe because we all know everybody and tight knit and everything else.
Let me see how I can say this without getting this person in trouble. I had a person come to me and say, "Hey," and I'm not going to say what she called me. She said, it wasn't a bad name.
Okay.
I'm just not going to, if I say what she called me, everybody know who it is.
Okay.
I asked about school, and she said, "Whoa, it's different being in a county school."
Yeah.
I said, "How's it different?" She said, "Man, the teachers just don't show you the love like they do in the city school."
Yeah.
And, you know, they got so many kids, and it's so fast moving, and, you know, there's so much to do. And at city schools, the classrooms are smaller, and they got time, and they do baby them.
Yeah.
All you got to do is go to graduation. And I ask them every year when I go to graduation, "Y'all are going to make me cry this year?"
Everybody cries.
They make me cry every year when they do stuff. Putting pictures up of little bitty guys and girls up on a screen, and then showing them the emotion they show, you know, that they break down, and when they're giving them hugs and the special times they've had with them. And, you know, those kids become like their kids.
Sure.
And you know, how many school systems do you go to where the school superintendent or the assistant standing out on the sidewalk opening car doors for people and greeting kids when they come in?
Yeah.
I mean, Kelly Johnson's not known as Kelly Johnson. She's known as Miss Kelly Johnson.
Yeah.
to all the kids at school. And, I had my granddaughter used to say, Pop, Miss Kelly Johnson's not been at school all week.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, let me find out, Adeline. I'll find out where she's at. And I called. She's been, whether it's in Nashville or whatever, she'd be in Nashville or somewhere. And
But they miss her.
But they miss her.
Yeah.
And they don't see her. They don't see her in the hallways, or they've not seen her out front or out back. And they miss Miss Kelly Johnson. And, she's just
she's a good one.
She's a good one. She's a Clinton girl. She's a Clinton grad. She went to Clinton City School. She went to Clinton High School. Her family was prominent here in Clinton. Her dad was pastor at First Baptist Church forever, as you very well know. It's church you attend.
Yeah.
And, there's just not a better fit than Kelly Johnson, man. She does a super job, and I'm as proud of her as I am what goes on at the city. And, man, you can tell politics is just right around the corner.
Well, here it comes. So what's cooking?
You can tell it's just
I know.
You can tell it's just right around the corner. And I ain't going to say everything I heard at the fair this week. Everybody talking, this is running for this one, and this is running for that one. And
well, now I did a little bit of digging after talking with you.
This one might be running for that, and there might be somebody running against this one. And what do you think? And I said, well, here's what I think. It's a little too early to talk about it. But give it a few more months, and we'll see who comes out and who decides to actually do it. But I've only got one thing to say about these races.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
I've run countywide.
Mm-hmm.
I've run countywide just running in the zone, and I've run citywide, in the whole city.
Yep.
And let me say this. It's a whole lot easier to run in the zone than it is to run countywide for a county office.
Yeah.
Because, man, Anderson County is big and spread out when you start having to go door to door.
Mm-hmm.
It is huge. But when you're just going in one section, it's a whole lot easier to go knock on doors, and whether it's District 1 or District 2 or District whatever.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot easier to go in your district and knock on doors than it is to go out and beat on the doors out in the whole county. Good luck to everybody that's thinking about it. Right? So what'd you dig on and find out?
Well, I was just we were talking about people that maybe were going to be putting some of their weight, officers that are currently that might be putting some of their weight or pushing on somebody. I talked to a couple, and they're like, no, I'm staying in my race. I'm running. I'm staying in my race. We'll see. I don't know, because it's starting. You're right. The people start to talk, whether it be about county mayor race. I've had probably 4 people talk to me about county commission race, 4 or 5 people. So it's starting to swirl around. I don't know if that's good or bad that it's getting, because it seems early to me. Doesn't it seem early to you to get started?
It's not till next year.
November.
Next August, I think.
Yeah.
When the election flies off. So
August of 26.
Yeah, you can. I think you can top a little bit too early. I mean, if you're already in office, people knows you anyway. So, I understand some of these newbies maybe wanting to get their name out, and the fair is always a good place to do that. Test the waters. Meet the people at the fair, have a booth inside, hang a banner.
Well, I say this. I said it when Roger was here. You've heard me say it a million times. People, listen to me. No news is good news. If you're in office, nobody's been, complaining, then you're pretty good.
Let me say this. I think overall, and they could care less what I think. I think overall, County Commission has done a pretty good job.
I do too.
They've done a pretty good job, and I talk to Tim Isabel all the time, and I talk to Robert occasionally, not as much as I should, but I seen Tracy Wandale at the fair, and I didn't get a chance to drag him down. I did get a chance to talk to Rex Lynch and Gary Long a little bit at the fair the other night, I think I did see Denise Palmer too, and I saw Shelley Vandergriff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the chance to talk to Shelley. I did Denise just to say hi. It was so many people, and people were moving, just trying to move and go on. But I think County Commission has done a good job overall. I really do think they've done a pretty good job. You can go back and look at some of the back county commissions where there was a lot of bickering going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't seem like there's that bickering going on right now that has went on in the past. Looks like they come and do business and they go home.
Sure.
And like I said, they probably could care less about what David Queener thinks, and that's okay too. I'm just an Anderson County taxpayer, and I do get to vote.
Sure. Well,
and that's just my opinion as a voter of the 2 that we've got. So I don't like all the in-house fighting and everything. I don't think that's constructive. That's me.
Makes for good radio, but it doesn't make for good politicking,
It makes for good people like me and you to come up here and talk and say, Billy and Susie got into it at the county commission meeting last night over whatever.
Yeah.
That's good radio and TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's good news. And that's, maybe that's what we want. It just has conversation, and we've had that conversation before. So, but I just think overall, I'm not tooting anybody's horn. I'm not endorsing anybody. I do have friends that's running, in some of those offices, and those people know that they're my friends, and they know that I'll vote for them. And I got to talk to our rep. I got to talk to Rep Scarborough there the other night at his booth, and he just was telling me it's been a whirlwind year for him, and he couldn't be at the fair Saturday night because he had to be in Nashville for something.
Yeah.
He didn't actually tell me what he had to be down there for, but he said,
Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, Sports Hall of Fame. So he had to be something down there. So we talked for a little while, and it's good to see him. And I think Rick is doing a fine job, and I think he will continue to do a fine job. So we'll see how it all plays out in the near future. But that's the biggest thing to scuttlebutt. Now, let me ask you this question.
All right.
I know you're about people being here illegal.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what do you think? Let's just say old David over here is illegal.
All right.
I've not been in trouble.
Okay.
I don't have a criminal record.
Okay.
I work every day.
Okay.
I pay taxes every day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
I pick crops and I work hard.
Okay.
Should I be deported?
Well, let me ask you this.
And I'm trying to gain citizenship, and I'm doing everything I've been told to do. Should they be deported?
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
If let's just say I'm here illegal, and I'm in your house illegal, but I make my bed every morning, and I keep my stuff clean, and I obey your house rules, but I'm in your house every day illegally, whether you want me there or not. Should you throw me out of your house?
Most definitely.
Well, that's kind of where I feel.
So,
I think that if they're here illegal,
even if we're trying to do even if they're in the process of becoming a citizen.
well, if I break the law and steal money out of the bank, but I give it to the poor, I still need to go to jail for breaking
I
the
understand,
bank.
but these people they're not convicted.
Nope.
They've got they're as clean a record as what me and you've got, and they're paying taxes. They're working hard every day. So my question would be to you this. So let's say we're going to deport those people. Okay? Who's going to pick your oranges and apples and your green beans and all that? Because that's hard work.
Well, you get back to the 30s, 40s, and 50s. We ate oranges and apples, and we didn't bring 8 and 10 million people over here to do it then.
We probably had.
Well, we probably had it.
We probably had.
And
migrant
we've got seasonal green cards. We've got seasonal workers. This is what I think. I tell you, here's where the problem lies, David. Not necessarily with the people that are here, but with Congress. Whether it's our Republican Congress currently or the last Congress that was Democrat, they don't have the stones to go in and rewrite it. They don't have the stones to go in and change the law. If they need to make it easier for people to become citizens or give them a pathway to citizenship, see, everybody can stand up and scream and holler. The Democrats can say you shouldn't throw them out because they're nice people. The Republicans can say throw them out because it's the law. But nobody wants to come down and sit down at the table and bear the responsibility of changing that law and fixing it. It's
something that they can politic on and talk on and say we're against it. Now let me back up just a minute, okay? If you're here illegal and you're a criminal, I'll help load them on the yellow school bus, buddy.
Yep.
I'll help drag them off the street and load them up.
Yep.
I sure will. But I just think if we got people working, in fields and they're doing everything right. And maybe they've got a green card. I don't know whether they do or not. I'm just listening I just hear bits and pieces of this. And they're doing everything right. They're paying, I think most people want them to pay taxes. They don't want them giving handouts. They don't want them to get no more than me and you get.
Sure.
Because we work hard and we pay taxes.
Sure.
So if that person's going out doing 10 or 12 hours every day in a field and he's paying taxes and he's doing everything and he's not getting any handouts, He's taking care of himself. Maybe we try to help those people just a little bit instead of loading them up on that yellow school bus I was talking about. So that's just me.
I'll tell you what I do.
Personally, I know this. I personally know I don't want that job going out picking those crops.
I understand.
You understand?
I do.
And I don't think you do neither.
I don't necessarily want it, but I'd do it before I'd starve.
I probably would too. And I need to clarify that. I probably would too. So I'm just saying, you said stones and I'll say balls.
Okay.
Congress needs to have the balls to just go ahead and do what they're supposed to do, buddy.
This is what if they give me a week and let me do what I wanted to do in this country, this is exactly what I would do. I would say for those folks that are here, that are operating the way that you say, that they're working hard, they're paying taxes, they've been here a few years, they contribute to our society. The only thing they did was sneak in, and they haven't had, because they snuck in, they don't have an opportunity to work toward being a citizen. You know what I mean? Because they got to go say, I'm here illegally, and they're afraid of getting thrown out. What they ought to do is give those people an opportunity to come forward and get a green card. That's not citizenship. Get a work visa, come give them an opportunity, even though they came in without it. That's not, so you're not giving them citizenship, but you're giving them the right to be here. And then once they have that right to be here, they could legally go and ask for citizenship, go through the process without worrying about getting deported. That's not amnesty. That's not doing anything else except giving them a pass on coming in illegally. And I would even go so far as to say, here's what we'll do. We'll give you a green card. You'll get this permission. But if you don't follow through and do XXX within the next 2 years or 3 years, whether it be a fine or whether it be a community service or whether it be something to make up for that first wrong you committed by sneaking in here, if you don't do that, we will deport you. We're going to make it okay for you to be here, but you're not going to be a citizen. We're going to give you the opportunity to keep your life the way you want it. But you need to pay a price for what you did wrong. And then after you do all that, then if you want to be a citizen, you can go through the process. And then I think if the process is too hard, Congress needs to do something to fix it.
We've got it. The
rest of them, I say, load them up, send them out.
With you 100%. With you 100%. I just think those people that are trying to do everything right, even though they probably did sneak in, but they're doing it, they're trying to get everything you just said. Those people we ought to try to help just a little bit.
I agree.
Because they're doing it right. They're not out here committing crimes and having to go to court and killing people and raping people. I'm for all those people being booted. I don't even think there ought to be a hearing for it. A lot of them of us take them and dump them off wherever we got to dump them off at, and let's get rid of them.
Well, if they gave them an option, like I just said, I think the American people would be okay because you're not giving them citizenship. But if you gave somebody like that an option and gave them an ample amount of time to do it. If they didn't do it, then there's a reason. And then you deport them. So
I seen where the polling had changed just a little bit on some of this deportation stuff. It was really high. I forgot what month it was, and now it's changed. It's a lot of people are opposing the way it's being done, just the way they're doing it. They don't approve of the way they're doing it, so it's changed, and some of that's changed. Did you see where our president has told the Washington Commanders, change your name back to the Redskins?
Yeah.
I'm going to do something. And they're saying that they don't know what he actually can even do. He can't do nothing.
Oh, he can't do anything.
But he's demanded that they change their name back to the Redskins.
I don't know that he could. I don't know that he has any power to demand it.
I just thought it was.
I'll tell you that Jim Harris is probably the largest Redskins fan I know, and he was not for them changing the name to the Commanders. He's also Jim's a proud Democrat, pretty liberal Democrat, and he didn't find offense necessarily to that. I know he was not for the Commanders. He thought they should have just called them. I can't remember what. He had a name that he was okay with. It was kind of a split between the middle, but I don't care. I could care less. Football team, president, he wastes his time if he does that. I think sometimes he just says stuff like that so they'll just keep talking about it, and it don't matter to me whether it's
and this
here
next subject that I'll ask you about, it might concern you.
Okay.
It's not even on the radar with me because this guy's no longer with us. He's dead, and I could care less about some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think there ought to be? Do you think we ought to dig up everything and throw it all out here?
The only reason people want it dug up is so that they can use the dirt that's in it if there is. Nobody wants it dug up so they can applaud somebody.
What if there's nothing? I mean, what if there's nothing really to dig up? What if there's no dirt? I mean, we know there's dirt.
Yeah.
But what if there's what if there's actually no list? I mean, just what if? I know we can if everything today, but what if there's nobody that's got Ron Meredith's name or David Queener's name on it?
Yeah.
Or whoever's, we know this guy was involved in this. We know he supposedly committed suicide. That's what everything, and I do think one thing would probably solve a lot of things. If they just released the autopsy report saying that it had signs of it being a suicide,
mm-hmm.
then I think maybe that would maybe relieve some, because some people said he was killed.
Well, there's a minute of the video missing.
There's a minute of that video missing, and you're never going to get it back.
Nope.
So there's always going to be that little bit. But, everybody promised that they were going to release all the Epstein files, and then all at once they've not done it.
Well,
I guess
the president said over the weekend he wants everything released. He said release all of it.
He's asked Pam Bondi to release all the grand jury stuff.
Yes.
And they say it's not going to happen.
I heard them say there's stuff in there that contains child pornography and all that. That's not going to happen.
Said federal judge will never.
Well, I'd make a federal judge say no.
I agree with you. They said that's how they thought. That's how they thought it would go down. There'd never be. But to me, that's not a kitchen table conversation.
No, nobody cares.
But it is a lot. A lot of people care.
Well, I'll tell you this.
It's big in some of the people that's Trump people. Really huge Trump. Let me say, they're mega people. That's really. Well,
Dan Bongino, huge guy with the president, got really upset when they said they weren't gonna. He's talked about quitting his job, and he believes it should be released. Release it. And I'll tell you this too: for the folks that are thinking there's something in there about the president, when you've got the assistant at the FBI saying he thinks it should be released, and he's one of the biggest presidential supporters there are out there, I promise you, there's nothing in there. He wouldn't be PO'd about it not being released. So this is what I'm telling you. When it first happened and Republicans were saying release it, it's because you had Prince Andrew, who point blank got his picture made with a 14, 15-year-old kid that accused him of rape and everything else she accused him of, and they've paid her. So we know that happened. Then you have Bill Clinton, who's got 31 trips over there. That's why the Republicans were calling for that, because there were these liberal Democratic names that were floating around. Now, all of a sudden, somebody started saying there are Republican names in there floating around. The Democrats now are saying, send it up. Let's see it. So it's all tawdry, and it's all, I think it's a distraction. I really do. You know what? I'm as curious as anybody. If there's a list, like Heidi Fleiss kept her list, if Jeffrey Epstein kept his list, and they say that if he did it in an effort to blackmail people to get what he wanted. And I guess if he had those cameras and all that other stuff they said he did, he probably could have done that. Sure.
Now, there's a lady, and I don't know her name. I heard it mentioned this morning, but I just don't remember what the name is. There's a lady that's in prison right now.
Maxine Giselle or whatever
her name is.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying they're trying to get her to come forward and reveal. They say she knows everything.
Well, her case is up for an appeal right now too.
Yeah.
And that's why they're saying part of the reason they can't release a lot to the public, because that stuff is being used as part of her appeal.
Yeah, and they said that they were talking about getting her to come and I don't remember who they wanted her to go. Maybe it's Congress they were wanting her to go in front of and let them. First of all, I don't think this is something that ought to be. Our congressman ought to be.
We ought to have better things to do.
We ought to have better border.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the border.
There you go.
Let's talk about food prices going down. Let's talk about gasoline prices. They've come down some.
Yeah.
Gasoline prices sort of fluctuate right now. You might pay $2.54 today, and tomorrow you're paying $2.84. It's sort of like up and down. I think it depends on about the war stuff.
Look, I'll tell you, don't you think that woman, especially after Epstein died, if she knew, she would have told to get out?
Well, I think she would have, but they said the possibility if she started talking, You know, she's in on federal charges right now.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be possibly some state charging. If she keeps her mouth shut, then the states don't have, they possibly could build some cases against her if she started giving out pertinent information. So from the experts I heard talk about it, they don't think she'll ever talk, just because there's a possibility she can be indicted on the state side. You know, there's twists and turns and whatever for everything.
You know what? Again, if this was just Ron would say, if I was the president, I'd say, here you go. Here, I'll give you full granted immunity. Tell what you know. Go.
I don't know if they can give her immunity on state stuff, though. That's the only thing.
Can they not?
I don't think he can do it federally. I think maybe he can do it statewise. He can't do stuff. He can't release you from prison if you're in state prison. He can only do it on the federal side. He can only give you.
I thought you could get a full and free pardon.
Takes the governor of Tennessee to do it, to get a pardon on a state charge. Completely different.
Maybe that's why. I just think that, again, I think if the Republicans would have had anything concrete, they'd have flown it out there about every Democrat. And I think if the Democrats had anything concrete, they'd have flown it out there about every Republican. I don't think any of them have it. For one, I think it would have been leaked. In this day and time, I think they'd just leak it. I think it would have been leaked before, and I think they'd leak it now if they had it.
And then the next thing that I really think is funny.
But I think it's a waste of time. I agree with you. I don't like my tax dollars being wasted on it.
And then this next subject I'm going to bring up is how the Democrats are. That's why I don't like the party anymore, but how the Democrats are fighting with each other over who won the Democrat primary in New York City. And, you know, how they're going on, and the top two.
Well, he won.
The top two Democrats has not come out to endorse him yet, and they won't. Now Cuomo's decided that he's going to run, I think, as an independent, and I don't know whether they can beat this guy or not. You know, this is a guy that nobody really knew, and AOC apparently is, you know, that's another subject there, but AOC's apparently all on board with him and helping him, and, you know, so Schumer and them have not endorsed him yet, and they're calling for Schumer and them to do it, and they say he's the future of the Democrat Party, and, you know, he said some things that I'd like to see him pull it off. Free groceries, free transit rides. How's he going to do that?
Oh, I tell you what, if you want to see how it's done, all you got to do is go to Cuba. They've got it. They've got government grocery stores. The shelves are empty. They do.
That's what I'm saying. How's he going?
They can't.
They can't.
Venezuela couldn't do it. Cuba can't do it.
But we got people. I don't know.
Well, look, you've got.
Keep my mouth shut about it.
Here's the people, David. If you've got $2 billion in the bank, me and you together couldn't spend $2 billion. Not unless we wanted to buy a ball team.
We could try.
But if you've got that kind of money, and you've got a relatively generous streak, there's no reason you wouldn't say, well, I wish people could have free food and free groceries. And, if I'm able to do this, there's probably a lot of other people that are. Well, there's not. I don't think that they see things correctly. They want to be generous. I think sometimes that their motives are probably okay, good. I don't think he wants to run to be the mayor of New York City to destroy it. What would help anybody? But I don't think they think it through. I don't think that they understand it and think it through. And I also think a lot of times people go, yeah, I know everybody else has always failed in socialism, but I can do it better than them. And I don't know, maybe they can. I don't know, but it's never worked. It's never worked in any circumstance. It's never worked in, you remember when people used to grade on the curve back in the day? That don't work either, because we got kids leaving school that can't read nor write because on the curve they passed. So I don't think it'll work, and I think that I don't think that they're Democrats either. I really don't. They're not like any Democrat I know. I've known Democrats from Dave Bolin, Dave Bolin Jr., Gail,
Martin.
Gail Martin was. I've great friends that were Democrats through and through, true and true, and there wasn't a day in the world they stood for socialism.
I don't know what I am right now.
Well, you're a bona fide Republican. Well, no, you're not bona fide yet, are you?
I'm not bona fide yet.
Okay.
But I'm going to be. I'm not. I'm out of touch. I'm not in touch with the Democrat Party right now in it used to be I could come up here and I would really put up a good argument for the Democrat Party, but I'm not in touch with the Democrat Party right now. I don't agree with a lot of their thinking and a lot of their things. I mean, I'm not on the same. David and them are not. David, I can't read what they're reading.
I tell you what, I think the president did good. What he did was pass the buck on this Epstein thing. He said, release it. And they said, well, we got to get a judge to say. So now it's not the president, it's not the White House, it's not Pam Bondi. Now it's going to be a judge. So if he says release it, it comes out and there's bad stuff about Democrats, the president can say, well, it's not my fault, I didn't do it. Bad stuff about Republicans, he can say, well, I didn't do that. And if they say no, he's going to say, I did everything I could do because the presidential branch doesn't control the judicial branch. I think that was the best punt that the White House could have made. Now the story's not going to come out of the White House. Now it's going to come out of that judge's office. But again, it's a waste of time. It's tabloid news as opposed to being hard news about stuff we need. Stuff we need is, like you said, gas going down. So how are we gonna protect our farmlands and our farmers and the guys that feed us every day so that green beans don't cost $9 a pound or whatever.
I heard somebody say the other day, and it might have been at the fair, they asked me, did you hear what beef prices are going to? A pound of hamburger meat's going to $7 a pound.
I saw the other day somebody I know was advertising beef, slaughtered beef. I've bought a half cow every year and a half for a long time. I haven't bought one in the last couple of years because the guy that does them is running behind. He can't. But somebody, and it was about $11 a pound for all. You know what I mean? When you buy together, it came to about $11 a pound. And I went back and looked, and the last time I bought a beef, and it ain't been that long ago. Let's say 5 years at the most. 5 years. It's about, after everything was said and done, about $1.67 a pound is what I paid for half beef.
I bought 3 apples yesterday and a bag of grapes at the store.
Mm-hmm.
I asked my wife, I said, what do those apples and grapes cost us? The 3 apples was $11 and something, and the grapes was $9.
What kind of game? What are you buying?
Just Gala apples.
Just regular apples?
Gala apples.
Holy cow.
And the grapes were $20 for 3 apples and grapes. I thought, man, maybe I need to quit eating apples and grapes.
Well,
and I don't eat them a lot, but I just said, let's get a couple apples. And I just picked 3. I just picked 3 apples that I thought looked good to me, and a bag of grapes. I said, hey, is these all right? And she looked at them and done whatever she does on the grape thing and said, yeah, let's get this bag right here. $20. 2 items, apples and grapes. And I was I thought, wow, man, that's high.
No, I didn't realize that. Tracy and I do my groceries. I get them either with Food City or Walmart where I get my groceries. And I'll either order them and drive in, let them put them in the car. Walmart brings them to the house. And so I go through, and I do that too because it's a lot easier to keep to your list. Because if I'm walking through the store aisles, I'll grab a bag of cookies and whatever else.
Well, that's the way everybody is.
Yeah, so it helps doing it this way. But Tracy was like, do you realize how much this has went up? I was like, nope, well, not necessarily, I don't. But she notices, she was talking the other day about chicken, how much chicken had went up. So, and I don't know how do we get that down? Is that inflation? We don't, are we bringing in chicken from elsewhere with tariffs on it? I mean, why is it going up so much? I think it is because it can. I think, unfortunately, when COVID came, and it did cost people a whole lot more because of supply chain issues and working issues and shutting down issues and all that, now that they're back to normal, they haven't rolled those prices back. There's a new normal. I know 2 restaurants that used to have you go in and sit down and eat. And then when COVID hit, they closed their lobbies, they closed their, dining rooms, and they didn't reopen them because they make a lot more money selling the food to go without having to pay all the extra work now.
All the extra help.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a new normal, I think, that has a whole lot to do with it.
So I'll end on this with you and ask you this question. Should the president fire Jerome Powell?
No. It'll crash the markets because he's not doing a bad job. I think he's stalling. I do think he's stalling in lowering the rates. As he said, I would have already lowered these rates if the president didn't put these tariffs on, because now I'm waiting to see if the tariffs are going to have an effect. They haven't to his own, but he's wondering if they do, so he's holding pat. He's not raising them to wait and see. So no, you can't. I don't think the president should fire somebody for saying, hey, there's an unknown out here. You created this unknown. It may work great. You may make us $1 billion and I'll drop them 4%, or you may cost us money and I'll need to raise them, or it may be okay and I'll leave it pat. I don't think you can fire somebody for doing that. I think he's doing his job. I know the president wants him to lower them, and I wish he'd lower them. The president said 3 points. I'd love for interest to go down 3 points.
Yeah, most definitely.
But I don't think you should fire him over that. I really don't. And I don't think President will. I think he talks like that. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. But I think he's just trying to motivate him to say he believes that the president's tariffs will work. See, if he lowered it right now before we know, he would be endorsing basically the tariffs. And I think the president would use that. And I don't think he wants to be used like that. I don't think he needs to, So I don't think he's fired.
I would love to see the interest rate come down, but I think, we need to be careful with it, not put us in a tailspin.
I think it'll come down next time. I really do. If they don't see the uptick that they're concerned about in prices with tariffs, I believe it'll come down. And I think he might do it right before the end of his term. I mean, I know the president's not going to bring him back. I think everybody knows.
Yeah, but here's the thing about a lot of people that I don't think really realize. Trump's the one that appointed this guy.
Yeah.
Trump appointed him.
That don't matter. He can appoint you and love you until he don't.
That's what I mean. He appointed this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, holy cow. The president really should. Do you think the president it should be the way it's set up? The president really doesn't. He can't fire. The president's not supposed to be able to fire him unless he's got cause.
Yeah.
He has to have cause. You think it should be separated? That's the way it should be, and not let politics get involved.
I do, yeah. Okay. I do. But at the same time, they're going to point to when he dropped it, when President Biden was running, they say that he dropped it to try and stimulate the economy. So to say that they're not political, who knows if they're political? We don't know what he's thinking. We know what, and they can justify everything they can do. Oh, we dropped it because inflation was, ticking up. We were trying to stop inflation. I don't know. It's
funny, ain't it?
It is, and what President Trump is trying to do is nothing more than get the Fed to say, we believe what Donald Trump said about tariffs is true, that it's going to help, not hurt. But really, all they're doing is saying, we're not taking a stance, we're standing back and watching. If he raised interest rates and said, we're worried tariffs are going to hurt us, so we're going to raise them in case they do, then I think the president would have a right to be mad and say, hey, it ain't done nothing yet. But just to say I'm going to stand pat and watch, I think what got everybody is when he said, I would have already lowered them if he hadn't set tariffs, because we're moving in the right direction, but that's, that tariff cloud's hanging out there.
Do you actually think we need all the tariffs that he's talking about? Do you think that's good or bad, or?
I think it ought to just be even. Whatever. For one, I wish nobody had tariffs, then we just have free trade all over the world. But if you charge me $20 for me to send my stuff over there, well, then I ought to charge you $20 to send your stuff over here. I don't think we ought to do more, and I don't think we ought to do less. I think it ought to be, they say reciprocal. So, but if he puts what he was talking about, putting a 500% tariff on the people that do business with Russia and some of that, trying to get Russia to stop a war. I mean, if you can use them to stop war, I don't care. But just to do it on goods, I think it ought to be even. I
think talking about Russia, I think our president is seeing face-to-face Putin with Trump is his buddies.
Oh, yeah.
And behind his back, he's putting a big knife in his back.
I agree.
That's how I look at it.
Well, I think
you might look at it different.
No, and I think he's done that to every president.
Yeah.
He's done it to every one of them.
For us to think that the Russian president is our friend, I think it's a very bad mistake.
Well,
I don't think he's a friend. He's not a friend.
Well, I think
we can keep him at arm distance and get along with him, but to have him spend the night in the White House, I don't think should happen.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I think if they do what they're saying they're going to do, the best way to fight Russia without having to fight Russia is to go to the people they do business with and say, if you want to play with the United States, the largest market in the free world ever, then we're going to tariff the fire out of you because you're doing business with Russia. But if you'll quit selling him gas, you can come over here and sell us gas for nothing. That's what I'd do.
I personally don't. Maybe I just don't understand war and all that other stuff and what this gets you. I don't understand what bombing apartment buildings, innocent people, have to do with what this fight's over, whether somebody's got some land or not. Why are we destroying everything?
They're trying to turn the people against the current administration. They feel like if there's enough misery imposed upon the people, who do they have to get mad at? They're already mad at Russia. So now they get mad at their leaders for not bringing a stop to it. And the only way that Russia is going to agree to bring a stop to it is if they give them the land they want. And I feel like that they can create enough misery, enough hurt, enough turmoil to turn the country. Oh, they're killing people. They're killing 6,000 people a day.
They're doing that.
6,000 people a day are dying.
I just don't see how you do that, but that's just me.
Well, you know what? You're going to go to hell for doing it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't believe to fight over land. I mean, it's one thing to defend your country, people coming in here and trying to kill people. You know, when Hitler was killing Jews and wanted to, exterminate a race of people. Yep. I believe everybody that fought against that, I believe they're justified and there's not going to, but when you're doing it to take property because you had property, they ceded that property. They agreed when they split the Soviet Union and all that, they agreed to all that. Now they want it all back. They took it back under President Obama. They took part of it back, got it. Now they're trying to get the rest of it back. For what? For greed? Because, well, the Ukraine is huge in grain. They supply a bunch of the world's grain. They want control of that. You have control of the money. You have control of the food. You have control of the oil. Pretty soon you got control of the world now. I think Russia and China want world domination. They want to be the head of a one world government one day. That's me. But I think that Xi Jinping and Putin will have a seat at the table in hell pretty soon. I do. I really do.
I like it right there. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good statement, right?
I do. But I don't think. I agree with that. I don't think there's a whole lot. I don't think that they're fighting for a whole lot of anything good. They're fighting for a whole lot of greed.
Well, those are just plain out dictators. They're dictators, and I just, Look, I don't know. I couldn't live under a dictatorship.
Somebody's going to get mad at me for saying this too, and maybe I shouldn't. But I think that when we first came to the country, we did a lot of things wrong to the Indians, to the American Indians. Maybe it was because we couldn't speak to them and we didn't get along with them, and they were more, to say savage, but they were more. They fight before talk. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why, but that's kind of what I see what Russia and them are trying to do with Ukraine and some of these others is go in and take this land, even though they can communicate and they can sit down and talk, and we probably couldn't when we probably didn't know exactly how when we first come over here, and we fought to get over here, and then when we got here, we fought to move out west. But I think it's kind of the same thing. I think we kind of did wrong, then. But I think we also, as a country, have tried to make up for it. We put reservations. They are their own ruling nation, And when I was out in Arizona, I'd go down to Safford, Arizona, and there was, I'd go through the reservations down there, and it's a whole. You're told it's a different world, traffic-wise, law-wise, everything-wise. If you're on the reservation, you live under that nation's law. So at least we did that. We've given them that. But that's what I think. I think I think they both have nameplates right in front of their chairs, sitting in a seat in hell because of what they're doing. That's just me.
Pretty good comment right there. I don't know that I don't like it. Well, I'll end it on that, and I appreciate you having me up and let me do what I do here. And I don't have a guest yet. I'm working on someone.
Okay.
It'll be a surprise. So, no, it won't be a surprise. I'll tell you who it is before we come. But I'll see if I can get some.
Do you want me to see if anybody's got any questions? Because let me tell you, I've been getting fussed at. I got fussed at when Terry was here because I didn't ask anybody if they had any questions. So,
yeah, go for it.
Okay, I just want to see.
I've never turned that down.
Well,
so
I know we're late, and I know you need to go, but if anybody's got any questions, I'm going to open the phone up, but I'm going to wait right here, right now for you to call. And don't call me and complain if you don't call right now. So I just wanted to do that because people think that I'm protecting somebody or whatever.
I've never come up here and felt like I need to be protected.
No.
I always answer the phone calls. Somebody might not like what I got to say, and that's all right. But that's, I have my own opinion about a lot of things.
Well, a lot of times, like Russell's good about taking calls. Terry's good about taking calls. But, we get talking. Me and you are the same way. We get talking. We've burnt over 2 hours right now. And so a lot of times people got life outside of talking on the radio. So you guys
they do have. And, I had a lot of people at the fair ask me, hey, you got a show coming up Monday? Yeah, I'll be there Monday. And this is who I got. And people say they're listening and talking and said they've enjoyed what I've had on here so far. I'll try to, maybe we can get some guests. Maybe we can go out and find some people that that don't normally come up here and talk on the old radio. Ranch.
All right, you got a question or comment for Mr. David Queener?
I have a question for Mr. Queener.
Okay, Mike.
Okay, well, I've heard him talking about they'd had a first up at the fair with finding the false teeth. Now, I'd read something on the Facebook machine about a woman having a baby at the fair.
Oh, yes, that's right.
We had a baby?
I don't know if she had the baby, but her water broke. Yes,
well, I
that's
just
true.
Somebody said something about, this is going to be the first time a baby's ever been born at the fair.
I don't know if she actually had the baby. I'll try to find that out and call in later on the week and talk about that. But she actually had her water break, and that is true, Mike.
There you go.
I forgot about that.
That's a first. Is that a first?
That's a first, I think.
There you go. All right, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, David.
Wonder if she's going to name it something to do with the fair.
I don't know. I'm trying to think what ride it was by. I can't remember the ride or anything. But, yes, we did have that. I can't remember what night it was. We did have that. When that call came in, everybody said, water broke. Everybody was like, whoosh, gone down there trying to help,
like
I said. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody came out to the fair.
It was a good, quiet fair as far as trouble and problems, wasn't it?
We didn't have no problems.
Good.
We run a good, clean show, and the midway change. We had the same midway we've had the last ever how many years. We've had James Gang.
Yeah.
But the James Gang's always been split. When I say split, the show's been split. Part of their show was in Indiana, and part of them was with us.
Yeah.
So in order to fill the rest of our grounds out, Rodney would bring some people in with him. So this is the first year that we got all of James Gang amusement.
Okay.
So we got everything they had.
Gotcha.
So we got all their rides. We got all their games. We got all their food trailers. We got everything. It's 100% James Gang amusement out of Andalusia, Alabama, instead of having
bring somebody in.
Having James Roy Pope out of wherever he's at down towards middle of West Tennessee that come in with him. We know, I know James Roy real well. He's part of the fair and everything, the fairs that travel around.
Sure.
But we didn't have any outside. James Gang brought all their stuff was on our property.
Good.
So it was all one organization this year for the first time. Now we've been after this for about 20 years to get them to do this. They've been under contracts in Indiana, so they finally got out of the contract and was able to come to us. And just from what I understand, the brother that's been going to Indiana couldn't believe how big our fair was.
Well, if you guys had records, I'd say they had records.
They did.
So that's
they did.
That's good. Good.
They did.
Have you guys ever thought about expanding it a day or two?
Yeah, we have.
And
we think it'd kill people.
Kill the workers.
Kill the workers. Yeah, it'd kill the workers.
Folks have asked me about that, saying, "Well, why don't they take it like through a Sunday and break it down on Monday?" I said,
We've looked at adding Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
and then start on Friday and go through the next Sunday.
Go through the next, ending on the next Saturday, just like we did today.
Yeah.
There's been some proposals that do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just do the carnival, not have the full fair open like we do with the buildings and everything, and then on Monday, just like we do on Saturday and Sunday, have everybody come in, bring their exhibit, set up, get it ready. Then on Monday, have everything. A lot of fairs do the first 3 days just carnival.
Okay.
And then they do the last 6 with the exhibits and the canned goods and all that.
Okay.
So they do that. So whether that's something that they look at in the near future, I don't know.
What is the benefit? What would be? Is there a benefit?
The benefits
outside of just to the people.
The benefits to the carnival.
Okay.
So if the carnival goes and plays you, and they play say you're playing a 9-day fair.
Yeah.
And their next place they're going to is 9 days. They'll play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They'll be off on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Gives them time to travel, gives them time to set up, gives them time to give their people a break. Then they start back on Friday.
Okay.
That's the benefit. It's more of a benefit to them than it is us. It would be a financial gain for us for them to come in because we would make money through the Midway being open because we do make money off of it. It'd be a financial gain for us. It's just the fact, could we handle that extra 3 days?
I know a long time ago we talked about if we brought somebody, a mid-level, country music star, putting them on the ball field, and then we could use that and fill it up. But these days, everything's full and used, isn't it? I mean, there ain't no room to hardly do anything anymore. I mean, it's full.
Full.
What's across the road back on the back from the tractor pull up? What?
There's subdivision that borders. If you go over that hillside, you'll go into some things that's on JDU Industrial Yarnell Parkway. But if you veer to the right just a little bit, that's where Kathy Brown's subdivision's at.
Yep.
So you got all those houses that are back in there. You really can't see them for the woods part right there. But after you get through the initial part.
So there's nowhere to go.
No, we're landlocked.
North, south, east, west.
We're landlocked. And as I told somebody the other day sitting in the fair office, when our forefathers gave all this property up, we had it all.
Yeah.
We owned it all. When we gave it all up and gave it to the city for a park and swimming pool, and they gave it up for the National Guard Armory and all that other stuff to be put up there, we had to. I don't know what the reason was, and I'm sure it was a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Probably financial. We couldn't afford to keep it up anymore. They couldn't afford back in the day to keep it up.
Yeah.
But it was not a very good decision for today. But who has the full rights to look 100 and some years down the road and say, man, we need to keep this because the fair is really going to be big. I wouldn't have told you the fair would be this big 15 years ago.
No, I know.
I never saw this coming, and I've been right in the middle of all of it. So I don't know. We're landlocked. The only way to actually, and I've heard you say this recently. If they're going to buy industrial property, where would they buy it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's 10 or 15 acres?
Yeah, I get it.
That's what we would need. Where's 10 or 15 acres that's level? That we wouldn't have to come in and do major grade work and do all that. Where's 10 or 15 acres that's pretty much on the beaten pike right through the middle of town?
Do you guys encroach back into the park a whole lot now?
We go all the way back to the horse arena. We use the horse arena, so we're all the way to the back side. We park all the way up in the JC Park.
Yeah.
We don't park down on the walking trail part of it, but we use everything up above the walking trail.
What I thought.
So we use every square inch of the fair grounds for something, but we just don't. There's just some of it that is no. We don't put nothing on it.
Yeah.
We do use the ball fields. We park on all the ball fields. That includes a high school ball field. We park on all those. We have exhibits sitting on the high school ball field. We have parking on the baseball fields and the little field up there. We have parking out back at the horse arena. Then we use the horse arena 2 nights for actual events to go on out there. And funny story. Farley comes to us this year. I don't know about the truck pull. I think it's fizzling out.
It didn't fizzle out.
I think it's fizzling out. We said, do what? Yeah, let's look at having a car show. Let's do a car show. Well, I think it's going to fizzle out, and I don't want it to be. I just think it's fizzling out. I said, Mike, it ain't going to fizzle out. Let's do it. I left the other night, and he at a little bit before 12, and he's still going.
He had to go extra, didn't he, the next day?
Yeah, we went. It didn't fizzle out. It's still going. It's still going good. He probably could still be running trucks now if he wanted to. But it didn't fizzle out, so my cue is wrong. But Farley does a great job out there. He's all in on it, man. But like I said, I appreciate you letting me come up and run my mouth. And we'll see if we can't have an interesting guest next time. Man, I might have you over here in this chair. Maybe I need to interview you.
There ain't nothing that you could ask me that they don't already know.
They know it on you, don't they, buddy?
I believe that they do. So, okay. Yeah, and until next time. If folks, I always tell them this, if there's anything that they want me to ask or want you to do, just call one of us. Call David or call me, and we'll get whoever you want to get.
If somebody's got an idea of a guest and it's interesting enough that we think they might come up here, we'll get them up here, and we'll see who we can get up here next time.
Third Monday of every month, David comes up. It's Queener's Corner, and thanks, Roger, for coming up. Thank you for bringing Roger. That's good. That's good.
First time he's been here in a long time, man.
20-some years, I bet. 20 years.
So I was glad to get him up here to talk and let him talk about the projects going on. There's a lot of things going on. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Dave. See you, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Good morning, and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and
co-owner of H&H Body Shop on what she likes about her job.
Well, we get to help people, and we get to help people through a rough time in their life because everybody don't have a wreck every day. And when they do, they're a lot of times distraught, don't know where to go, don't know what to do. So